Shall we put our hands together for a moment of meditation? I'd like to share with you the words of Nagarjuna, or the accomplishment of Nagarjuna as appreciated by Shinran Shonin in his Shoshinge. Nagarjuna clarifies the hardship on the overland path of difficult practice. He teaches that the moment one thinks of Amida's primal vow, one is naturally brought to enter the stage of definitely settled. Solely saying the Tathagata's name constantly, one should respond with gratitude to the universal vow of great compassion. Namo Amida Butsu, Naman Butsu, Naman Butsu. Good morning once again. Oh, welcome all of you for this beautiful Sunday. And for many of you, it's a long-awaited Super Bowl Sunday. For me, it doesn't matter. I have to do my assigned duty here this morning. After this, I don't know what I will be doing, but I'm sure I might end up before the TV set this afternoon. But today, we're here not to participate in the Super Bowl or think about it, for momentarily anyway. But this is a Sunday, one Sunday a month we set aside to think about someone close to us who have passed away some time ago. And we reflect on that, those individuals, as we continue our journey of life. Without these people, we won't be here. Therefore, it is perhaps our human responsibility, in a way, to reflect ourselves, think about them, and to show our gratitude, our appreciation to those who have gone in the past, lived in the past. So, this is Super Bowl Sunday, Memorial Sunday. Also, this week we will have annual, the statewide Hongwanji's Legislative Assembly. Yeah, it is called the Giseikai in Japanese, and Legislative Assembly is once a year the biggest policy-making gathering for Hongwanji. Our representative, as well as statewide representative, will be attending this 2 days, not 2 days, 2 days. Well, here you go. What's bothering me? Super Bowl, maybe. 2 days sessions at Betsuing, and to discuss various matters, including big budget of Hongwanji for the year. Yes. Also, close to my life, or shall I say my wife's life, is her birthday tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow. Yeah. Finally, she made 48. I'm 50 years old. Give or take a few years. But anyway, these things comes again once a year. But something that doesn't happen once a year is the departure of our beloved Reverend Sumikawa. Bert Sumikawa has served us over 3 years, or close to 4 years. Yes. And, well, we all loved him. Sometimes we didn't like him, the way he talked to us, but we all loved him, basically, and enjoyed his sermon, his personality. But he has his own life to live. And he decided, hey, this handling Moilele Hongwanji by himself is a little bit a little hard for 80-year-old man. Yeah, he's 80 years old, same age as I am. So he said he told the bishop, I'm told that, hey, I want to retire. But I don't want to completely retire. I want to continue in a little bit more, a lesser scale and help Hongwanji. So he's assigned elsewhere. Yeah, someone young and healthy and energetic and full of vigor and power will be coming here. A little young minister. Not that Bert didn't have this. He is full of those things. I really admired him for that. Yes, yeah. But Reverend Umitani will be coming in officially in June, I'm told. Yes. So now till June, what is he going to do? He is presently helping bishop as an associate executive assistant to the bishop. And as I mentioned, this legislative assembly is coming up this weekend, especially. That's the bishop's office responsibilities. So he's running around like a crazy, yes. So he has to finish this up. He has to train someone who takes over his job, and then he will be transferring here to Mo'iliili, officially as of end of June, yes. So in the meantime, we have to get ourselves together and carry on the temple work according to our own capacity and practice and propagate the wonderful teachings of Jodo Shinshu. After all, that's our responsibility, our duty, and our joy to be able to do that. But what is practice and what is propagation in Jodo Shinshu? Yeah. If you say, I don't practice Jodo Shinshu, well, something is missing. Yeah. And if you say, I don't propagate Jodo Shinshu, also, you're maybe not consciously, but yeah, your daily life exemplifies as one who practices Jodo Shinshu, thereby you're propagating the teaching. In that respect, I'd like to share with you one simple story or incident. Yeah, I would say story, yes. This I heard when I was in Hilo. I was on Big Island and for 10 years. And if you're in Big Island for 10 years, you get to meet all kinds, not only Hilo and Between members, but people like Pauilo, way up in Hamakua Coast. And this particular person, Mr. Miyazaki, yeah, I forgot his first name. My goodness, I should remember. But anyway, Mr. Miyazaki, he's known as Mr. Miyazaki anyway. Everybody knows him, yes. Retired school teachers and very devout Jodo Shinshu follower. Oh, by the way, he is his older brother of Shuichi, which makes Ann uncle, not Ann the uncle, Ann's uncle. Yes. Okay. So, but this is the story that I heard directly from him. Okay. He said, one day he came, no, sensei, like that, he came up to me and said, I do have a lot of people come and visit me, try to sell their religion to me. Yeah. And, but whenever they come, I don't turn them off. I don't just flat in their face, don't come. Yeah. I welcome them. Welcome them. And what do you do if you welcome them? I tell them to come in the house, come in. Yeah. And then I'll say, he told me, I'll say, I listen to you for 30 minutes. You're what you have to say. But you have to listen to me for 30 minutes also after that, This much I heard directly from him. And later on, when I mentioned this to Jun Asato, the daughter-in-law of Mr. Miyazaki, who lives in Mililani, she told me, no, sensei, there's something more to that. He would invite them in the house, and then he would say, oh, this is our family Buddhist altar. You are in my house, so please offer incense. Let them oshoko, and then have them sit in the parlor and enjoy the chatting, or listen for half an hour, and give his side of Jodo Shinshu teaching appreciation of Nembutsu to these guys. Yeah. Whether these people would came again or not, I'm not sure. But whatever, the result of that, it is true practice, and in his practice, he is propagating wonderful teaching of Jodo Shinshu as he appreciated it. Yeah. We appreciate Jodo Shinshu, our own religion, but sometimes we may not truly go out and propagate or share that wonderful teaching with others. But if you really appreciate it, you talk about it. When you talk about it, you have people listen to you. And that's how the propagation begins. Yes, it begins. Well, this morning, I share with you a short passage from the Shoshinge, praising Nagarjuna, an Indian master who lived just about the turn of just about 2,000 years ago. Yeah. And in that passage, Shinran Shonin says, Nagarjuna mentioned two paths. Now I have two paths to enlightenment. One is difficult path, one is easy path. And this is a great contribution of Nagarjuna to the propagation of Buddhism, or appreciation of Buddhism. So, what is then difficult path? What is the easy path, as Nagarjuna mentioned? I don't want to make it too academic and bore you to death, but I like to just mention something very simple. Yeah. When you say difficult, well, it's obvious. Something must be difficult. And when it's easy, something is simpler than the difficult path. Okay. Now, what is difficult path? Nagarjuna says difficult path is like walking on land, carrying heavy load, and traveling. That's difficult, especially when you think about, 2,000 years ago in ancient India. I don't think that's an easy path. Very, very difficult. Then what is easy path? Easy path is load everything on the boat, get on the boat, and just sail. Let the boat take care of it. Ah, that makes sense. Very simple. Of course, you can, this is a simple analogy, so you can say, well, how about this, how about that? But simply, what Nagarjuna is saying, there's a difficult ways to attain enlightenment and easier path to enlightenment. And to make it, the difficult path is sometimes we see people practicing, reciting or chanting sutra for hours and hours and hours, and walking up and down the mountain peaks of Mount Hiei, hours and hours, not only one day, but for 1,000 days. Doing that without fail, and you carry a dagger with you, not to protect yourself against anything, but in case you fail, you commit yourself. You kill yourself for failure. Well, with that intention, you go through that. Sometimes something like starting 2 o'clock in the morning, and then you walk to a dark mountain path, and then you, as you go from mountain path corner to corner, there's a small shrine or small something to indicate where you have to stop and go through a certain rituals and go over. It's not an easy path, that's for sure. Yes, not. And once I heard this practicer walking up the mountain, dark mountain, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and he saw somebody walking towards him. What would you do in case like that? Yeah. And you would never expect things like that. You might expect a wild boar or something come running at you. Then you know what's coming. But human being in dark night, out of nowhere, start walking towards you. This person might be thinking, who's this guy doing here too? But they passed each other this way without any incident. But these things can happen. Scary. Yeah. But this is a difficult path if you want to accomplish your practice. Yeah. Or, much closer to us, we sit in meditation, hours and hours and hours, a quiet contemplation. Yeah. And try to attain that state of satori, enlightenment. Wow. Shinran Shonin said he tried for 20 years up in Mount Hiei, and in the end he came to the conclusion, this is not my way of doing it. Maybe some other people can do it. He never said that's no good. Difficult, and some people may prefer that path. But for me, there must be other path. And Nagarjuna said, here's a path, easy path. Easier path. And what is the easy path? Recite the Nembutsu. Wow, that's easy. Recite the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Yeah? We are all doing that every Sunday. Every morning, hopefully, before your family altar. Yeah? And say Namo Amida Butsu. Recite the Buddha's name. What's so special about reciting the Buddha's name? Because if I were to use the expression the children might say, because I love Buddha. Yeah? If you love Buddha, if you like Buddha, if you appreciate the compassion of the Buddha, then you can't help but reciting or calling the Buddha's name. Instead of saying, hi Buddha, hi Amida Buddha, you say, Namu Amida Buddha. Amida Butsu means Amida Buddha. Namo Amida Buddha. And what does Namo means? Namo is an ancient Sanskrit word meaning I lean against. I'm lean against something. Can you lean against something very fragile? For example, this podium here. I don't want to lean against that. Yes, you have to control yourself before you speak before the podium. But this podium is strong enough. I can put my whole weight and lean. And this will hold my weight for me. Yeah. Then what does lean against means? Lean on. It means I put total trust. Total trust. I totally trust Amida Buddha. Namo. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. I put my total trust in the vow, in the working of Amida Buddha. That's all. Okay? That's what Namo Amida Butsu means. Namo Amida Butsu. Just like little child, when he's lost, when he was playing and fell and scraped his knee, elbow, and crying home. What does he say? Please call ambulance. No. A child never says that. Only thing he says is, Mommy, right? Yeah, Mommy. She may scold me, she may hug me, she may do whatever, but I need Mommy at that point because he is embraced in the mom's compassion, mom's love. And he knows that. In time of need, all he can say is, Mommy. That's all. Just as we say, Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Whether we're happy or whether we're sad, yeah? Whether we really, our life is just sailing smoothly or hitting the bumpy road, it doesn't matter. Namo Amida Butsu. Amida Buddha is always there. Why? Then why do we have to say the Nembutsu? Why the Nembutsu is the best way? Well, if there's other ways and you can accomplish that, well and fine, go ahead and do it. Shinran Shonin never stopped that. Yeah, but Shinran says, for me, only way is Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu. That's the easy path as mentioned by Nagarjuna. It's not the difficult path, easy path. Even today, however, reciting Nembutsu is not that easy, yeah, for all of us. Yeah. Yeah. If I were to ask you, say the Nembutsu, would you be able to say Namo Amida Butsu so loud that the temple will collapse? No. You might mumble to yourself, Namo knows, Namo knows, Namo knows, Namo knows. Yeah. Don't be afraid. Yeah. Just say Namo knows. Just like the little boy who needed the hug of his mother. Mommy, I have scraped the elbow, my knee. I'm bleeding on my knee. Mommy, do something for me. That's all you need to say. Mommy, Namo Ami Dabutsu. So, reason why Shinran Shonin says, for me, Nembutsu is the only way. He says, because I am, what's the other term that I always use, and I think we should remember this term, Bombu, Bombu. I am Bombu. Translated means common, ordinary, human, mortal human beings. I'm common, not Superman, common, ordinary guy, but eventually I'm going to die. That's what I am. Yeah, that's what I am. Yeah. Well, and how do you know you are Bombu? Shinran says in his writings called Ichinen Tanen Shomoi, he says, we are full of ignorance and blind passion. Our desires are countless, and anger, wrath, jealousy, and envy overwhelmingly arising without cease, constantly. Yeah. And then he says, to the very last moment of life, these conditions do not cease, disappear, or exhaust themselves. We are constantly, yeah. We are full of anger, wrath, jealousy, envy, all these things. Sometimes it doesn't show in our face, but we are full of that. Yeah. There is a word, in Japanese, there is, I like to say this expression, tatsu. Tatsu means stand up, yeah, tatsu, or erect a building. And there is a saying that when a neighbor, this is Japan, when a neighbor erects or builds a huge storage space, which means he has lots of assets to do that and things to store in that storage. In other words, he's a little wealthier than you are, okay? When your neighbor builds or erects a huge storage house, your hara ga tatsu. Your hara ga is tatsu is the word. When the neighbor build the storage, you get envious. You get jealousy. How true, yeah. Of course, you go there and congratulate, wow, you built a huge structure here. What you going to store in there? But inside you say, wow, why this guy need this much space? Yeah. No? In other words, this Japanese expression is funny because they both play on the words on words called tatsu. Yeah, tatsu has meaning stand up, also build, as well as something emerges within yourself. That's also tatsu. Yeah. But anyway, that's Nihongo. Forget about it. Okay. But we are that common, ordinary Bombu, you and I. But because we are Bombu, we don't want to behave like Bombu, don't we? Yeah. And we like to at least do something to make outwardly look like I'm a little better than ordinary people. That's what truly Bombu is. And because we are Bombu and facing imminent death, I don't know how many years from now, maybe immediately, or 50 years from now, who knows? Yeah. But eventually we are going to die. That's what we are. All of us are Bombu. Yeah. Speaking of death, by the way, 2 weeks ago, or was it already 3 weeks ago, when the false alarm struck all of us by surprise? Were you surprised? Were you shocked? Were you in panic? Did you push your own panic button? No? Yeah. Well, it's almost like, for a while, our conversation was, where were you when? Yeah? Where were you when? Yeah. What did you do when? Yeah. For me, my wife and I, we did nothing. We were enjoying our coffee. Our cell phone doesn't receive those warnings. And we didn't turn on the TV or radio. We just quietly enjoying morning coffee. And later on, my wife turned on the radio and said, hey, they're saying something about warning. Yeah, there was a false warning, already past tense. Yeah. So for us, so it was a peaceful day. Peaceful morning, no difference than anybody else. Sometimes it's bliss to be ignorant. Not knowing is really, truly a bliss. Yeah. If you are exposed too much to your information, sometimes you go poopily up here. But truly, that is the moment, those of you who heard the news, moment that my life may not last next 30 minutes. I mean, maybe come to an end and at the end of 30 minutes. And that's what caused many people to scramble for safety. But as I think about it, even if I heard the news, this is retrospect, but even if I heard the news, I don't know what I might have done. Yeah, I have no choice, no other ways. I have no, the evacuation, shelter. No, yeah. My closet won't do any good. Yeah, yeah. But I might find section in the house which is closest, farthest away from the window, maybe. But that's about all. But atomic bomb drops on top of Honolulu. My house is like a piece of scrap paper, and it's going to burn, fizzle in no time. But anyway, we are Bombu constantly facing this thing called death in our life too. But we don't realize that either. Thinking that, everything is fine. Yeah, everything is fine. There's afternoon today, and there's a moment I can enjoy my football, or whatever it is. Maybe that's the time for you to go shopping. Who knows? Yeah. But in this life, for those of us who are living the life of Bombu, what is the only way and the best way to attain our ultimate goal of enlightenment, freedom from this suffering, is to be one with Buddha. Namo Ami Dautsu. Recite the Nembutsu. Naman Dautsu. Naman Dautsu. And as we continue this journey as ordinary human being, ordinary Bombu, we are living with Amida Buddha's embrace in our heart. That's a big difference. Big difference. Someone said, let's say two individuals are running same direction. One is suspected burglar. Other one is policeman chasing after him. They're running, two of them running in the same direction. Two human beings running in the same direction, but different motives, different purpose, right? Different purpose. One is trying to get away from being caught. Other one is trying to catch this guy. And they're running the same direction. In our life, we may be running the same direction, but what is our heart? What's going on in our heart? Are we one with Amida Buddha? Or are we still confused? Are we still suffering from unable to truly grasp that vow of Amida Buddha's reaching out to all of us? Jodo Shinshu teachings is that. Jodo Shinshu teaching is simply Namu Amida Butsu. I'm sure that's what Mr. Miyazaki was trying to say to these visitors who came to see him. Simple teaching, but Namo Amida Butsu is my way of life. Today, as we participate in this, again, monthly service, with a little bit of a tinge of sadness in a deeper part of our hearts, for those who have passed away many, many years ago, and very close to us, losing our beloved minister who moving away elsewhere, and we have to get together again to keep on supporting this wonderful temple. Let's keep in our minds the importance of reciting the Nembutsu and remembering, yes, this is the path for me. Not the difficult path, but this is the easy and most important and superior way of attaining enlightenment. Yeah. I'd like to go further about my wife might raise her hands in front of me over there. So at this time, I'd like to conclude with that. But once again, shall we reflect ourselves on this wonderful life embraced in Amida Buddha's compassion? Let's recite the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 Namo.